Early Dreamliner aircraft models from Herpa Wings are certainly not known to have a lot of detailing, but once in a while a model gets helped along by a lovely livery. Is this also the case here? Well, we'll find out after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to an episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 787-8 of Royal Jordanian Airlines. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the Royal Jordanian branding. And as this model was released in a time where Herpa still at least partially cared about their box design, we can see we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life here, and we are provided with a web link where we supposedly can get more information. However, this web link does not work anymore. And here she is, the Boeing 787-8, the Dreamliner, in the current standard livery of Royal Jordanian Airlines. Now, as this aircraft model was released by Herpa Wings in 2015, we should probably not expect too many printed details, but the best way to figure out if this model is still worth our time and money is simply by taking a closer look at it. And we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Royal Jordanian branding, or the Jordanian crown. On the fuselage we then have the flag of Jordan, the full registration code of the aircraft type specification, and the Dreamliner branding, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. Then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we have the writing of Royal Jordanian, both in English and in Arabic writing. We do also, next to the two front cabin doors, find the One World logo, of which the airline is a full member. And underneath the red and golden cheat line we then have the web address of the airline and the name of the aircraft. From there we can move on to the cockpit section itself, where we find the cockpit windows and the window wipers have been printed on, as well as the emergency hatch for the cockpit. But that's all the detailing we get here. In more recent Dreamliner releases we at least also get the circular marking around the radome. This, however, was a detail that Herpa used to skip back when this model was released. And it's also really not a plethora of detailing that we will find on the engine nacelles. The only real printed detail we find here, apart of course from the color scheme of the airline, is the silver leading edge. The physical detailing, however, is much more convincing in this case, because I think overall that looks pretty decent, especially with the chevron nozzles, and also from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. And from the engine nacelles we can move on to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flap slats and spoilers carved out very nicely. But that's all the detailing we get here. No real printed details can be found here on the top side. But on the underside we do at least have the full registration code of the aircraft once again, apart from some other physical detailing like the pylons. And then of course we also have the landing gear. Now that is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their Dreamliner aircraft models, and overall I think it looks pretty alright, but I am missing some printed details around the front landing gear. On the belly of the aircraft, Herpa back in the day already started with this nonsense of adding a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model, but in this case it doesn't destroy any printed details, so I guess I can live with it. And then last but certainly not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 787-8 in the current standard livery of Royal Jordanian Airlines from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? I mean, I did kind of hint at it at the beginning of the video, so it is not a huge surprise that this aircraft model is deprived of any form of detailing that could have elevated this aircraft model to the point where it would actually be like a worthy aircraft model. But it has to be said that the few details that Herpa added to this aircraft model, and of course also the livery itself, they have done so pretty well. Personally, I really do love the Royal Jordanian Airline livery, and I think it looks great on the Dreamliner. And I think this is also pretty much the only reason why any collector would fork out any money for this aircraft model, because it is literally only the Royal Jordanian livery that is worth any money here. This is what carries the model. But if you do like the livery, and given that we don't have any alternatives in scale 500, then yes, this aircraft model could be worth having in one's collection. And with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. And of course, if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.